Alright, so I'm here talking a little bit more about your clay creature or animal that you're coming up with. So again, just kind of a review. I've got two pieces to mine, and I created both of these by making two separate pinch pots. And I decided that I'm going to make mine into a two-piece owl. So I've got like a little container. I could maybe store something in there, some paper clips or candy or whatever. So what I'm going to work on now is the head of my owl. So I'm going to go ahead and set the body aside. So depending on what you want to do, what you can start with, I should say, is creating attachment pieces to go on the surface of your animal. So that's an additive method, okay, where you're taking something, maybe I want some eyes for my owl, some big round eyes, okay, and then you can also do a subtractive method, and that's where you're carving in. So I'll kind of show you both here so you can determine what you want to do, I should say, and where you want to do it, and you can combine both techniques as well. So when you're hooking something together, the most important thing to keep in mind is that you want to score and slip everything, okay? If you don't score and slip, there's a good chance it's going to fall apart during the drying process, and if you're lucky enough to survive that, then it's probably going to fall off in the kiln. It won't explode or anything, but it will fall off, and you don't want that to happen, because while you may think you could just glue it, glue and clay don't work well together, because when something's glued it can't go back in the kiln because the glue will just melt from the heat of the kiln. Okay, so now I've got kind of an eye for my owl, so I can put that on. Okay, create a second one here. And you can certainly just use some of the different clay tools, see what they do. You know, most of them have a certain purpose but can be used for other things as well. So just find what works for you, and again, make sure you're scoring and slipping anything that you want to attach on. Okay, so that stays put. So maybe I've got these two kind of eyes now. Alright, and keep in mind that working with clay takes time, it takes effort to put into the craftsmanship. So just because you hook something on doesn't mean you're done yet. Smooth out those cracks, blend together, take your time, because it's really going to show up in your work. So now from here, maybe I want to carve in some areas now. So I could, let's see, grab a different tool here. Okay, so this tool, for example, could be really good maybe for creating an eye. So maybe I want to press that into my clay. Okay, and now I've got two eyes for my owl. Alright, and then maybe I want to add a little nose on there too, a little beak. And you can make things flatter, or you can make them pop out a little bit more three-dimensional. And don't underestimate what you can do just working with your fingers on the clay, because there's a lot you can do just manipulating the clay and forming it and sculpting it with your fingers. Okay, so keep that in mind. So now I've got kind of a little beak. So I could either lay it flat like this, or I could make it pop out. Either way, I kind of like how it looks flat. Looks a little bit more like an owl to me that way. So again, I'm scoring it, slipping it, and then pressing that on. Okay, and then in addition to just pressing it on, you can also take a tool like this plastic one, or you can use a wooden one, and just sort of take it and blend your clay together and then smooth it out. And that's just going to ensure that everything is attached. Okay, now from here, maybe I want to add some designs or patterns like on the eye, so I could make some lines going out like this. Okay, so this would be an example of subtractive, because I'm carving into the clay, whereas when I added the nose or the beak and the two eyes initially, that would have been an additive method, because I was adding onto the clay. So keep that in mind. You can definitely work with both. I think sometimes it's cool to have a little bit of variety. All right, so my owl's starting to take shape. And now maybe on the body, I could add some little wings, I could add a little belly, I could add some little owl ears, you know, kind of have fun and play around with it. And again, you have the option with your creature or animal if you want to have 2 pieces, or it could just be one solid piece. Okay, so have fun, be creative, look up resources if you need them, go to Pinterest, go to Google, and see what you can come up with.